With the USA? Your drama?
Trump trying to buy Greenland is like the most late-stage capitalism thing ever.
He has not ruled out using military force. It's funny. I mean, the people in Greenland are freaking out right now.
And then Russia's going to be on the other side. Do you want that?
It's Trump. Anything could happen.
Donald Trump has always been a scratch my back, I'll scratch yours type of man.
This is bad. And kind of funny, actually.
But here's Greenland, and here is that area in which that icebreaker, bus.
Have you heard? Donald Trump has once again brought up the idea of buying Greenland. This concept was first discussed in 2019, but now it has once again captured the world's attention. Greenland is the largest island in the world, rich in natural resources and strategically located in the Arctic. But what exactly makes this icy island so important to the United States? In this video, we'll take a closer look at why Greenland could be valuable to America and show how Americans are reacting to this surprising news.
So it's about global influence, it's about oil, minerals, trade routes, and of course, we wouldn't want China or Russia making a play for Greenland first. So yeah, that ice melting, it could change a lot of things. It could be a bit of a mess too. You're talking about economic opportunities, you're talking about environmental risks, and some big time.
This tale starts with the tanker Cristoforo de Merengie. I don't know how to pronounce it, but there it is. Because this was the first ship to navigate the North Sea route in the winter. Yeah, in February of 2021, this huge boat made by the Russians traversed the Northwest Passage and cleared a route that is enjoyed by shipping today. But here, this is what they're not telling. Not to be mistaken by my bald head, but here's Greenland. And here is that area in which that icebreaker, bus, all the ice. And so the reason that Trump wants this piece here is because this will make a great port. See, all the boats will have to go through there. Anyway, that's my perspective.
Well, we might be looking at a war in Europe, but not the one you're thinking of. Everybody kept worrying about Ukraine. Actually, it looks like Donald Trump may get us into war over Greenland. So the French and the Germans today came out and warned Trump against attacking Denmark in order to take Greenland. Trump has been talking about actually getting Greenland for a long time now. It actually is a territory that belongs to Denmark, but it's semi-independent. And Trump recently said that he would consider military action to forcibly take Greenland from the Danes. The problem is that Greenland and Denmark are both NATO members. If Trump were to attack them, he would be going to war with all 32, 33, I forget how many now we've got, NATO members. And, of course, he'd be going to war with the European Union as well. The French and the Germans, pretty big military powers. For them to warn Trump gets very interesting. Now, could France and Germany stop America? Probably not. We'd probably win the war. But a war with France and Germany and all the NATO allies picking sides and the Brits and everybody else would be a disaster. It'd be a disaster for NATO. Not that Trump cares, because Trump has repeatedly said he wanted to get us out of NATO. Vladimir Putin, the Russians don't like NATO, and Trump, Trump has that weird affinity for the Russians. This is bad. And kind of funny, actually, I say, only because, the Trump people have been warning us for years, claiming that the war in Ukraine is going to cause World War III, and it's not. But actually, what might cause World War III is Donald Trump himself by attacking our own allies. Yeah, FAFO. Oh, well.
Why does President-elect Donald Trump want to buy Greenland? Well, Greenland has a unique geopolitical advantage. It's home to a large American military space base, and it lies on the shortest route from North America to Europe. Fewer than 60,000 people live there, but it's the largest island in the world. Here's a map of Greenland on top of the U.S. to show just how big the island is. The former Danish colony became self-ruling in 1979, but Denmark still exercises control over its foreign and defense policies. Greenland's prime minister has pushed for independence, and Denmark's prime minister says the island is not for sale.
Denmark, I didn't know you had this in you. In response to the assistant president Trump's offer to buy Greenland, this is what Denmark had to say. As we have stated, Greenland is not for sale. We have noted, however, that during the Trump regime, pretty much everything in the United States, including its government, is most definitely for sale. How could they say that? They make this counteroffer. Denmark would be interested in purchasing the United States in its entirety, with the exception of the government. Oh, and then they really double down. If Denmark's bid for the U.S. is accepted, the Scandinavian nation has ambitious plans for its new acquisition. We believe that by giving the U.S. an educational system and national health care, it could be transformed from a vast landmass into a great nation. Oh, Denmark.
You see, Donald Trump isn't doing anything for America this second term. Donald Trump has always been a scratch my back, I'll scratch yours type of man in his business, his entire career. Donald Trump is paving the way for after the White House, for himself. He is carving a future for the Trump organization, for himself after the White House. By scratch my back, I'll scratch yours.
As I see it, the helpless, submissive, and self-destructive Europeans won't be able to do simply because they lack the firepower and spirit. Not to even mention that usually Donald Trump gets whatever he wants.
Now, obviously, this is a meme, but I don't think this is a joke. Donald Trump has explicitly said that he wants to purchase Greenland, annex Canada, and take back the canal from Panama. So the fact that the president-elect's son is posting this, it's not really a joke. By the way, we still haven't heard from Donald Trump on how he plans to lower milk prices, egg prices, or grocery prices like he promised he would when he was campaigning. But we have seen a lot of threats from him to take over lands and territories that do not belong to him. This is what he's prioritizing on Christmas Eve. Quite the candidate that you people elected, America.
And I think it's also important to note that Greenland cannot simply be purchased like real estate. Its population, although only 56,000, have the right to self-determination under international law, meaning they must consent to any major changes. But if enough people in Greenland want to be purchased by the US, who knows? Maybe a 51st state is possible.
Trump wants to buy Greenland, which is not in itself a terrible idea. The United States bought the Louisiana Purchase and Alaska. But if Trump wants to turn Greenland into a state, then he's going to run into reality. The United States for the last 100 years has only ever admitted states to the Union 2 at a time. One Republican and one Democratic state at the same time. It takes an act of Congress to admit states to the Union, and the easiest way to get support from both parties in Congress is to make sure that it doesn't upset the current balance of power. Alaska and Hawaii were admitted at the same time in 1959. So if you assume Greenland is going to be a Republican state, then the next most obvious Democratic state to pair it up with is Puerto Rico.
Isn't Greenland owned by Denmark, and Denmark's a member of NATO? I'm too young to be dragged into a war against America over Greenland. No offense. Like, it won't happen, but it's Trump. Anything could happen.
But now the Kremlin has weighed in for comment as well. A spokesman for Putin just said in a comment, "The Arctic was Russia's sphere of national and strategic interest and is interested in peace and stability."
People glorifying Denmark really just goes to tell that Denmark has the best press team. Like, the amount of people framing this as US being like the colonizers and Denmark being this cutesy little country standing up to the colonizers, not knowing that Denmark is literally one of the OG colonizers. We are the founders of white supremacy, you guys. Don't get me wrong, I'm half Danish, I'm half Nigerian, I grew up in this country, I love it here, but the amount of racism, xenophobia, and the amount of colonization, specifically with Greenland, that we're all talking about, as if Denmark didn't go to that island, colonize the shit out of those people, are still doing it, actively harming the Inuit community, and then playing it off through rigsfællesskabet. It's kind of a commonwealth between Greenland and Denmark, and playing it off as if Greenland is just passively part of Denmark, and we don't know how it ended up like that. You guys need to educate yourself, because this picture you're painting of Denmark as being this like cutesy little country that's never done anything wrong is like factually incorrect. And we still have legal practices in place that discriminate against Inuit people. So while we're discussing how cutesy and fun it is that Denmark is clapping back, which by the way is also factually incorrect, the crazy quotes were satirical and not from an actual Danish person in government. But while we're laughing about that, could we not please acknowledge that Denmark is an OG colonizer and that the relationship between Denmark and Greenland is actually super problematic? And that Greenland has its own government. Denmark can't sell Greenland to anyone because Denmark does not own Greenland.
But yes, that's right, Don Jr. and Charlie Kirk went to Greenland and literally had to find homeless and disenfranchised folks to bribe with hotel rooms and dinners in order for them to put the MAGA hat on and pose for this photo. Oh my God. Is there no low that these guys will not go?
Donald Trump has reiterated that purchasing Greenland could be a strategically important step to strengthen the national security of the United States. Greenland is the largest island in the world, situated at the heart of the Arctic, a region that is becoming increasingly significant in global politics and economics. This island is rich in natural resources, including oil, gas, and rare earth metals, making it a potential source of immense wealth. But it's not just about resources. Greenland's geographical position allows for control over Arctic routes, which are becoming more accessible due to melting ice. These routes open up new opportunities for trade and military operations, making the island a key point of influence in the Arctic region. However, there are significant challenges. Greenland is an autonomous territory of Denmark, and its residents have repeatedly stated that they do not want to change their status. The Prime Minister of Greenland has explicitly said that the island is not for sale. Denmark, on its part, has also rejected the idea, calling it unserious and inappropriate. For the United States, this could be one of the biggest deals in history, offering not only economic but also strategic advantages. Yet the realization of this idea faces complex political, diplomatic, and even cultural barriers. The future of Greenland remains uncertain, making the situation all the more intriguing.
I do want to remind you that this is not the first time that Donald Trump talked about taking Greenland. He did that in his first term, and his way of doing it then was to try to convince everyone there to be a part of us and have them vote for us, which is very strange. I don't think he thought that would actually work, though. Why is he doing it now? It's because I think he's seeing Russia's making moves up there, especially in those shipping lanes and getting resources and things, so I think he wants to get ahead of that now. So for Donald Trump to even float the idea of having Greenland is off the table, and once again, just doesn't really make any sense, even when it pertains to the tweet and then outside of the tweet. Now, the only reason why I would think that Donald Trump would say anything about this is because in recent years, Russia's been doing a lot to try to claim territory up in Greenland's exclusive economic zone. Russia is up there because, well, there's a lot of really good resources, such as gold, silver, copper, uranium. And I'm assuming that Trump made these comments because A, he wants that stuff for the United States, and B, he doesn't want Russia to have it. What makes things even more interesting is the fact that dr.dk, one of their publications in Denmark, said that they've reached out to several employees that confirm that yes, Donald Trump Jr.'s PR team walked around the streets in front of the store and handed out MAGA hats. Then they would invite these people in for a free lunch at the hotel.
Okay, we're here in Greenland with Don Jr.
Everyone wants to be on TikTok.
What do you guys think of America?
Great.
Love America, and you love Trump?
Yes, of course.
The youth of Greenland, Don.
We're hearing a lot of it, guys. We're hearing a lot of it.
And you guys all watch TikTok, right?
Of course. I'll follow you.
Oh, thank you. Live from Greenland.
Okay. So, like, if you could tell Trump anything, what would it be?
Buy us.
Buy Greenland?
Buy Greenland.
Why do you want Trump to buy Greenland?
Because we don't want to be colonized by Danish government anymore. We get ripped every year about our minerals from Greenland. We are the richest nation in the world, and we don't get to use it. Denmark's using us too much.
Do you like America?
I love America, but people are too fat over there.
Let me explain to you why we have to buy Greenland. Like, we have to buy Greenland. The reason why we have to buy Greenland is if we don't, China's going to buy Greenland. So China's going to be on one side, and then Russia's going to be on the other side. Do you want that?
He has not ruled out using military force. It's funny. I mean, the people in Greenland are freaking out right now. This is a big deal to them. It's the top story on their news, and all the Greenlanders... Greenlanders? That just sounds silly. Oh, it's valuable economically, strategically, sure, but it's not ours. It belongs to Denmark. They speak Danish in Greenland. Yes, we would be the ones who would have to defend Greenland if China or Russia went after it. A lot of resources there. Denmark would help a little. They actually do have a pretty kick-ass navy. Oh, and the Gulf of America? Classic Trump ridiculousness with a hint of nativism. Trump is trying to convey strength to the rest of the world by threatening our neighbors. Will it work? I don't know. They might just think Trump is insane enough to do this stuff. But you've gotta fucking laugh. I'm serious. If you take every crazy thing Trump proposes seriously, you're going to go absolutely nuts. Remember two things. First, Trump is almost always full of shit and is unlikely to do any of this. And even if he tried, he's probably too incompetent to make it happen.
I think it's a strange thing to do. I think it's a strange thing to threaten our allied countries, and I don't understand what he what he is doing, quite honestly.
Find it extremely ridiculous. Like, if he wanted something from Greenland, or we have an alliance, we are allies. So this doesn't really respect that.
No, I'm not worried. I mean, apparently he says everything, and you have to stay strong and not to be too much affected by what he's saying. You just try to ignore it. I mean, you can say anything, so yeah, try to ignore the worst part of it.
But Trump is the king of trolling. He was putting up a map that looks like with Canada and the United States all together. Check it out. That's amazing. I mean, that's pretty funny. It's huge. It would be almost the second largest piece of land next to Russia. And the Mexico's all pissed off. They're trying to say, well, we're going to take back part of Texas, part of Arizona. Like, yeah, whatever. Good luck with that. And you got some politicians in Canada that are saying the same thing, that we're going to take California, Seattle. Like, good luck with that. Are they going to come here and strong arm us? On a good day, our Salvation Army could kick their ass. Canada's not going to do nothing. We're going to put tariffs on them, and they'll be like, hey, listen, you can come tap into our oil reserves all you want. Just put those tariffs down because you're putting us into the ground financially. But Trump is awesome, man. He's trolling them. All they're doing is talking. They can't even see straight. The guy's not even president yet. Look, he's doing it on purpose because it freaks people out. He's like, yeah, I'm going to buy this place. I'm going to buy that place. We're going to put so many tariffs on them, they're going to want to join us. And I get it. Theoretically, it's a great idea. It would make the United States unstoppable. And it's not like we're going to be bullies to everybody, but it'll be better security throughout the world. We can have different militaries in different strategic areas. Imports will be a lot easier to manage through the oceans. It's a pretty good idea. Then Panama Canal. Trump, he's causing all kinds of havoc. I love it. It's awesome. It's great.
Don't you think Trump trying to buy Greenland is like the most late-stage capitalism thing ever? Like, imagine that you're one of the 56,000 people who live in Greenland. You've had universal health care your whole life, and then all of a sudden you just lose it because the richest country in the world, led by a billionaire president, bought you.
I got the snacks and I'm watching. It is glorious to watch. Like, it's literally glorious to watch. It's very, very entertaining. Very entertaining. I'm not saying over here in the UK we ain't got stuff going on too, because you know we do. But the USA, your drama, good.
We've explored why Greenland has drawn Donald Trump's attention and what it could offer to the United States. Now we want to hear your thoughts. Do you think this is a strategically important decision or just a bold statement? Let us know what you think in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.